Yo, what is up guys, it's me Exactly, back bringing some more daily NBA news and highlights. As always though, you guys are the real MVPs coming back each and every single day, can't thank you enough. But now, let's just take a look at everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video's sponsor, SeatGeek, another one of the OG sponsors of this channel. I've been trying to tell you guys how great they are since like October. And honestly, look, I think I done brainwashed myself with SeatGeek, because now if I were to go to any sporting event or any type of live event, I wouldn't know how to buy tickets without SeatGeek. And then again, why would I ever want to use anything other than SeatGeek, since it is the best way to buy tickets? Not using SeatGeek is like choosing Kyle Singler for your pickup team when you could have had LeBron James. Don't pick Kyle Singler, pick SeatGeek. Pick LeBron James. Use the promo code SDC for $20 off your first order. Links will be in the description box below. But now with that out the way, on the video. Let's go. So the Boston Celtics feel disrespected because the consensus is because of how banged up they are without Kyrie Irving now that they don't stand a chance in the NBA playoffs. They were already without Gordon and Hayward, of course. They're going to be without Marcus Smart and now Kyrie Irving as well. Pretty much right after it was announced that Kyrie would be out, you had analysts saying stuff like this.
They're relatively non-existent as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they were knocked out in the first round, whether it's by the Washington Wizards or the Milwaukee Bucks.
And I guess that right there is what the Boston Celtics players don't appreciate, and that's according to Marcus Morris. Take a listen to what he had to say about the disrespect the Boston Celtics are being shown yesterday.
They were talking about the seedings, and they said that teams were dying to get to the seventh spot to play you.
I do. I hope so. I really do. This team is, we're resilient. Everybody on this team is ready to compete. We all feel disrespected. Kyrie, Marcus, Tice, all those guys is, major for our team, but, they're not here. So we have to, still approach the game as we're going to win and get to as far as we can. We have a great coach that's been really good with us and really resilient with us. And, we ready to go, man. There's enough talking. I don't see no players saying it. There's a lot of commentators saying, but hey, they're not playing. They watch it, so we see when we get through the lines.
And he isn't the only Boston Celtic player saying stuff like this. When Al Horford was asked pretty much the same question about teams hoping to get the 7th seed in the East, all he had to say was that he can't wait until the playoffs start. And a couple of days ago, I guess Terry Rozier was asked how far he thinks the Celtics can get without Kyrie, and before the reporter could even get to finish his question, Rozier said the finals. First of all, before I say what I think about this, all this optimism coming from the Boston Celtics players and them feeling disrespected and like they want and have to prove themselves now is expected. I would be worried if they weren't saying what they were saying. Going out there and saying, you know what? Yeah, everyone's right. Without Kyrie, without Gordon, without Marcus Smart, we don't stand a chance. We're not making it out the first round. Why even bother trying? Of course, they're not going to say that, and they're going to have confidence that they can still win. But the question is, can they though? Like can they really here? Losing Kyrie Irving for a team that struggles offensively is a huge blow. That being said, if it's the first round of the NBA playoffs, I'm still giving the Boston Celtics a chance, whether it's against Miami, Washington, or Milwaukee. I wouldn't write Boston off if they play any of those teams. To me, the Boston Celtics are kind of like the San Antonio Spurs. It doesn't matter which players are playing for them, they're still gonna go out there and they're still gonna compete. They can still beat almost any team on any night, no matter who goes out there, Kyrie Irving or not. Especially if they play against the Bucks or the Wizards, two teams who have been pretty dysfunctional this season, then for sure they have a chance against either of those guys. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Celtics are still able to get out of the first round. But as far as the second round though, look, that's a different story, because they'd either be playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Philadelphia 76ers. Just depends on who gets the 3rd seed. And I don't give the Boston Celtics much of a chance against either of those teams, because right off the bat, we know there is no way that LeBron would allow himself to lose to the Boston Celtics without Kyrie Irving, because we know that LeBron would not allow himself to lose to a Boston team with Kyrie Irving right now. So how in the world is he going to allow himself to lose to a Boston Celtics team without Kyrie Irving? Just imagine if that happened. Imagine the amount of tarnish that you place on LeBron James' legacy if he lost to a Kyrie Irving-less, Gordon Hayward-less Boston Celtics team. For Kyrie to leave him and then that LeBron loses to the team that he left him for while they don't even have Kyrie. No way in this world that can happen. As for Philly, I just think they have too much talent for the Boston to deal with their depleted roster right now, and they've been playing extremely well, so I'm giving the edge to Philly in that series too. So to recap, Boston has a chance to get out of the first round for sure, but that's about it. If they get any further than that, then Brad Stevens is the best coach in the NBA, period, and they're winning a championship next year, 100% confirmed. Real quick, I also want to share with you guys what else Marcus Morris said in that interview. He also wanted to talk about the idea of the Boston Celtics playing the Washington Wizards in the first round, saying that he doesn't want that to happen. Not because he thinks they'll lose to the Wizards, he just doesn't want to play against his twin brother Markieff in the first round of the playoffs.
Brother, all about possibly seeing each other in the first round, because I mean they're in that mix.
Man, every day. Talk about it. I honestly don't want to play them first. Can't lie. I don't want to play them.
Why?
First. Because it's my brother, and we going to war. And it's when I go out there, like I've been telling them, this is war time. This is like, it's like fighting for your life out here, and I hate for it to be my brother in the first round to have to be that bully to my brother when I know it's gonna be like the same. Back, it's a little different.
So he said that, but what really caught my attention is what he said towards the end of this interview when he talked about the Toronto Raptors and the Washington Wizards and how he thinks the Wizards can beat the Toronto Raptors.
I watch them, and it's my brother, so I watch the team. I think they got a good shot at beating Toronto. I think that'll be a great matchup for them. With us too, it'll be a great matchup. Don't get me wrong, but I think them against Toronto would be a great matchup too.
All right, Toronto, this message goes out to you guys. If you lose in the first round, no one can save you. No one and nothing in this world, in this universe, would be able to save you from the amount of backlash you would get from the NBA community as a whole. There will be no coming back from this. I would be upset because I want to see you guys do well this year. I have said in previous videos that I think this will be the year that the Raptors do good in the NBA playoffs. And if you go out there and lose in the first round to the Wizards, Bucks, or Heat, doesn't matter, it's over. As far as you guys possibly having to play against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round though, look, as long as you don't get bullied by LeBron James this time, I'll be fine. If you can't manage to win, if you can't manage to get past the Cleveland Cavaliers, as long as you do not get bullied by LeBron James, as long as you at least make him sweat, play a competitive series, I will be fine. But if you get bullied again, or if you don't get out of the first round, no one and nothing will be able to save you. So Russell Westbrook took on James Harden in the Houston Rockets yesterday. More on that game in a second, but what I want to talk about first is what Russell Westbrook said before the game about James Harden and the MVP award. As when he was asked who he believes should be the MVP this year, he did go on to praise James Harden this season he's having, but he didn't necessarily say that he'd give the award to James Harden. He doesn't even know who he will give it to.
I'm not sure. Obviously he's having a good year, a great year. The team had the best record in the NBA, so, I'm not sure.
Do you have a pick for MVP since you're the reigning MVP?
No, I don't have a pick. There's a lot of guys doing a lot of great things in the league. Honestly, I don't know kind of what you go off of because MVP's kind of been picked differently every year, so depends kind of what the criteria, what it is that you guys vote for. But obviously, he's leading the charge at the moment.
The criteria always changes. I don't think the criteria for MVP changes that much. It's typically the best player from the team with the best record. The only time when it really changed was last season when Russell Westbrook won because of his story and the fact that he averaged a triple-double. So unless something like that happens, it's the best player from the team with the best record 95% of the time. And we all know that it's James Harden. Everyone knows that it's James Harden. So I either feel like Russell Westbrook wanted to say that he feels he deserves the MVP again, or he thinks that if I'm not getting the MVP, well, why does it matter? No one gets the MVP. I'm the only MVP in this NBA, because literally every other player that's been asked, except LeBron, who thinks that he should win it himself, has said James Harden is the MVP. James Harden is the MVP. It's pretty much written in stone at this point, so why not just say Westbrook? That was your former teammate, give him some shine. But that's actually gonna do it for all the news from yesterday though, so now let's take a quick look at the games from last night. All that being said about Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and the MVP award, if Russ played with this type of defensive intensity all season long, he would have been the MVP this year and the Defensive Player of the Year too. The defense that he was playing on James Harden last night was unreal, especially later in the game. Matter of fact, Russell Westbrook said after the game that he told Paul George, the Oklahoma City Thunder's best defender, to go guard someone else because he knew what needed to be done in order to stop Harden.
Did I ask when the games were online? I knew what needed to be done, and I told Paul and Corey to take somebody else.
Yo, to say that and then go out and do it, that's like some mama mentality on defense. And in this game as a whole, this was Westbrook and the Thunder playing for their playoff lives, because as crazy as it might sound, making the playoffs would have been considered a little bit of a stretch for the Thunder had they lost to the Rockets last night. Like, they would have fallen all the way to the 9th seed, since every other team that also needed to win yesterday won yesterday. But because of Westbrook taking over, the Thunder were able to get the 108-102 win over the Rockets. Westbrook with 24 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, and 4 steals. And look, you and the Oklahoma City Thunder need to play with this level of intensity from here on out, because you look like a totally different team yesterday when you played the way you did. Yo, clean shaven Nikola Mirotic is actually a thing. The first time I said it a few days ago, I thought he would just have that one great game and then fall off a bit again. I thought I was just making a joke, but this dude is legit. The man is still on fire after shaving his beard. 28 points, hitting 6 threes against the Warriors. As the Pelicans, another one of those teams out west that needs to keep winning to stay in the playoffs, got the necessary win over the Warriors, despite Kevin Durant dropping 41 points. Yo, good stuff, New Orleans. And even though Nico was fantastic once again, so was everyone else for the Pelicans as well. Rondo, 12 points, 17 assists. AD, he was AD, 34 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, and Holiday scored 25. These teams are really out here playing like their lives depend on it, and I love it. They're playing playoff basketball in the regular season. 126-120, the final score. The Nuggets right now have the short end of the stick in the Western Conference, as they're in the 9th seed on the outside looking in, but all they need is one team above them to lose one game and all that changes. And like I said earlier in the week, whether or not they will make the playoffs will come down to their last game of the season against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Whoever wins that game gets into the playoffs. That's going to be a must-watch game right there. And Andrew Wiggins, you already know that I'm going to be watching you in that game. If they lose because you didn't do anything again, it ain't going to be good for you. I'll just leave it at that. Anyways though, the Nuggets also won yesterday against the Clippers, which officially eliminated LA from playoff contention. And this will now be the first season, and get this, NBA history, that either the Clippers, Nets, Lakers, or Knicks, that one of those teams don't make the playoffs. 134-115. Nikola Jokic with a triple-double of 23 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. Same goes for the Spurs. They were in a decent amount of danger of missing the playoffs still, so they definitely needed to win. And they did, beating the Blazers 116-105 yesterday behind LaMarcus Aldridge's 28 points. They only need one more win now to secure their spot in the postseason, and they play the Kings next, so that spot, it's as good as theirs. It will also be kind of poetic justice for Rudy Gay, as he will get into the playoffs by beating the team that he hated playing for the past couple of seasons. And this game wasn't as important, but let's cover it anyways. Giannis set out this game due to rest, and of course the Bucks were still able to get the win against the Knicks. 115-102. Bledsoe with 22 points and 10 assists. And there's no way in this world this game was important. Actually, it kind of was for Chicago, as the Nets beat the Bulls. Luckily for Chicago, maybe not actually that luckily though, because the Bulls were clearly trying to lose this game, like you could tell, 124-96. And with this loss, Chicago is now tied with Brooklyn in the bottom of the standing. And that actually wraps up all the action from last night. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. Remember to vote for the player of the day, but also remember the only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday, that player was Ben Simmons, and his 27 points, 15 rebounds, 13 assists, and 4 steals. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow, but until then, I am out of here. Peace!